Hey guys, so I am just back from the gym, so excuse my face. So I just thought that I would tell you a little bit about what I'm doing at the moment. So it's currently Wednesday and this week I decided to start the body coach plan officially, so I just kind of dived in. I'm doing the HIIT training, but I am also continuing to do some of my resistance training that I've been doing, purely because I'm very happy in the way that I'm increasing at the moment with my resistance training, and I don't want to stop that for an entire month because I'm happy with how I'm progressing. Not to say that you would lose like your gains if you did stop for a month, because you're not going to lose months and months of hard work in a matter of 1 month. Also, when you do HIIT training, you do use your muscles, so you can actually build muscle from doing HIIT training. I mean, if you're doing high impact, for example, you're doing jump squats, you're going to be using your leg muscles, so you're going to increase. But I'm just very happy with how I've been progressing. I've noticed a real change in my body at the moment in regards to like muscle mass, and I've also noticed that I've been increasing my weights quite consistently. So I want to still do that 2 times a week, so that has been factored in, and yeah. It's going really well at the moment. I'm really in the swing of things. Just an example of the things I'm kind of having. So I tend to do my workouts in the morning if I can, just because I get endorphins from it, and if I start in the morning, it kind of gives me that energy that I need to continue going through the day. I also find it mentally harder to motivate myself in the evening. So if I had a long day of script writing, or if I've been in an office or anything like that, I find it hard to then come home and unwind. And I also find a lot of the time that when I do my workouts in the evening, I then get loads of energy, and then I find it hard to like settle down, so then the next morning I'm a little bit more tired. But whatever works for you. So it's not to say that you can't do it in the evening. I personally just prefer to do my workouts in the morning. And once they're done, they're done. And I also prefer my carbs in the morning. So with the body coach, in cycle 1, you have 1 post-workout carb meal, and then you'll have 2 reduced carb meals. They still have carbs in them, a percentage. It might not be complex carbs, but you still have a percentage of carbs, be that fibrous carbs in them, but just not as much. So the reduced carbs. And then you also get 2 snacks. So I like to have a piece of fruit and nuts as my snacks usually. And I find it quite easy to have something like oats or the pancakes post-workout in the morning. So that gives me like a really nice filling meal to continue on with my day. My favourite reduced carb meal is the Mediterranean stuffed peppers. I genuinely think like it's such a tasty, fulfilling meal, and I love my carbs. So sometimes I feel like this meal is great, but I could really do with some carbs with it. But that meal, I genuinely don't ever feel that way. Like, they're so filling, it's so tasty. Another go-to meal that I like to cook is one of the omelettes. I just find them so quick and easy, and they're so tasty. I know some people think having an omelette for lunch or dinner is just not okay, but I love them and they're so tasty. Also, like, sometimes omelettes can be very much like pizzas. Like, if you have the like tomatoes and cheese and just sprinkle some basil on them, amazing. But you can even do that with the ones in Joe's plan, because things like herbs don't affect your macros. So if you like the taste of certain herbs, you can just sprinkle that on. So yeah. What works perfectly on Joe's plan is if you bulk cook on like a Saturday or Sunday, because that's when most people tend to have more time. But of course, if you had a day off in the week, you could do it then. And if you like bulk cook a handful of meals, stock them in your fridge and freezer, and then you're done for the week. So what I've done this week, because I have a kind of busy weekend, and I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to eat, if it'll be on plan or off plan. So I've made enough food up until the weekend. So, and I tend to keep the same kind of thing. Today I've got the Mediterranean stuffed peppers, and then I'm going to have an omelette in the evening. Tomorrow is going to be pretty much the same as was yesterday, so like that's just me. I've actually injured myself, so I'm also training for a half marathon, which is very hard to do whilst you're following the plan, purely because you have to have your carbs after your workout. So if you're running long distance, you usually need to have your carbs beforehand so you have the energy. I've kind of been playing around with that on the lead up to this plan. It's why I didn't start a few months ago, because I knew I was going to have intense training coming up. And from previous experience, because I've done a half marathon before, I actually ended up injuring myself last time. It's the same leg, it was my hamstring, and yeah, so it happened. I knew something like it would probably happen this time. I have hip dysplasia, so running is not an ideal form of exercise for me. However, I am not one to not live my life because of certain things happening, so I took up running because it's something I always wanted to do. It looks fun. When you see people running down the South Bank and they're just talking, casually running, I couldn't even run like 1 kilometer without being out of breath. So I pushed myself to run 5k, and I did that. And then one day I ran home from work to where I lived, which was 10 kilometers, and I just pushed myself and I did it, and I was so surprised. And I thought, no, never do anything more than 10k. But then my friend massively inspired me when she ran the London Marathon, and just seeing everybody there running for charity, running for other people and put themselves through it, massively inspired me. So I did a half marathon in memory of my nan and my granddad, who had passed away not too long before. And I ran for the British Heart Foundation because my nan passed away from an unexpected heart attack, and none of us knew that she had heart disease. So I wanted to run to raise awareness for the fact that heart disease is actually one of the most common diseases in the world, and I don't believe that enough people are aware of that. So I decided to, try and push myself harder, do a half marathon, which is something I never in my life ever would have thought I would have done. But yeah, so that was a really emotional and very rewarding experience, and I figured I'm not gonna let something like my mild hip dysplasia stop me. However, it does massively impact my runs. Like, I have a skater gait because basically because of my hip dysplasia. So yeah, I knew that I would have problems at times, so I didn't want to, overdo it. However, I ended up overdoing it, and I'm currently recovering, and it's really difficult actually, because of someone who enjoys workouts so much, and I really do enjoy like lower body workouts because I do have powerful legs. So to have to not use my legs for workouts is pretty just not nice. But I'm doing some low impact workouts. So you could still do HIIT workouts if you're injured. Obviously it really depends on yourself and your injury that you have. I'm doing more upper body stuff, so like press ups, sit ups. I can do squats, but I don't do the jump squats at the moment because I think that will put too much pressure on it. I completely leave out lunges because lunges are the cause of the problem at the moment and they will not help me. I was going to do hill sprints today, but I thought, whilst I can do running, I thought running uphill is gonna really use that muscle, so I decided to leave that for today, which I'm gutted about, but it is what it is. Things will probably come up. You might get injured, you might have people visit and have to go out, but life is for living, and you know, you've got to enjoy that. And if you do get injured, that's life. Things do come up and things get in the way. You just have to be wise, don't overdo it, and just do your best. So week 1 has been eventful so far, but I'm sticking with it, I'm enjoying it, and yeah, I can't wait.